Are you working in your practice this week, or are you working on it? That's a good question to be asking yourself, because for a lot of people right now, things are quiet. This is a quieter week. And so a lot of mental health professionals have a few choices. They can work in their practice and work a little bit less. They can work on their practice, or they can just take a little bit of time off. And this video really is for the people who are working this week, talking about some of the choices that you're making and the consequences of these choices as you take a look at how you can actually grow and build your practice. You see, if you are working in your practice right now, you're probably paying bills, taking care of some admin stuff that's been piling up, returning voicemails, maybe tweaking your Psychology Today profile, doing a bunch of the things that you've been meaning to do, but because of all your client work, you've been too busy. That's not going to affect your income. It's not going to affect the impact that you make in the world. It's not really going to affect much, and it's just basically you clearing out some old task lists while you have the opportunity to do it. It won't change your life whatsoever. If you're working on your business, then what you're doing is you're deciding strategically how you're going to grow and how you're going to make your work-life balance better, and what kind of impact you really want to make in the world, and what steps do you need to start taking in the next few weeks and months. What do you need to make time for so that you can make your circumstances better? And if that's you, this video is for you. If you are working on your practice, then the way that I see it, you have a few different options that you need to be considering right now. First one is, should I migrate from insurance to cash pay clients? It's a good way to double your income and cut your admin time. You're no longer relying on insurance companies paying you out. You're no longer relying on the amount of admin that it takes to actually bill insurance. You're still working the same number of hours though. Okay, you've cut a little bit of admin time, but you're still required to do the same number of clinical hours to really achieve the objective of doubling your income. You're still prone to burning out. I get calls from mental health professionals who have their own cash pay private practice. Some of them are making $200K already. But they're saying, I can't keep physically going at this level because it's taking such a toll on my body. And it can take you a while to be able to migrate out of an insurance-based practice into cash pay. And during that time, it can actually be really scary because you're going to have to say no to a lot of people in order to keep the door open and keep the availability open for the people who can pay you cash. And it might be impossible in the area that you're working. If you're working in a particular locality where people just don't have the money to be able to pay you, then you're looking at a situation where this just might not be a realistic idea. But it's certainly one of the things that if you're working on your practice this week, you should be considering if you should do, and if so, how you should do it. Another option is to grow a group practice. So if demand is very healthy and you're able to bill insurance, then this is a pretty good option because it's a good way to grow your income level. You're making a profit of the therapy that you're providing, but also all of the different people who work for you and all of the therapy that they're doing. You are going to have to establish a fairly complex administrative setup to be able to facilitate you hiring and firing people, billing insurance, having all the right administrative support for the people who are working for you. You're going to have to start doing hiring and firing, and that is pretty tough in this market because it's pretty tough to get people in this market. The demand for mental health has doubled, which means there's great opportunity to grow a group practice, but the problem is being able to recruit other therapists when they can just go out and create their own practice. So you have to be able to do the hiring and firing effectively. And it can be like having a second job for quite a long time, because as you're setting up and growing your group practice, you're going to have to do all the tasks to actually set it up and grow it on your own time, because you need to keep your own private therapy clients going as well at the same time before your group practice is actually making you money. Last option that you have, and this is obviously my favorite option because this is what I help people to do, people just like you, is to create a coaching, training, or consulting program. So the good thing about coaching, training, or consulting is it gets you completely out of the major limitation in impact and income that you can make as a mental health professional. It gets you out of trading your time for money. Coaching programs are charged up front. Usually, good coaches are charging between $2,500 and $10,000 for a coaching program, and that is paid to them up front for the entire program. So then what you do is you start serving all your clients inside of a group model, and I can tell you more about that in some of the trainings that I do, so that you're no longer having to work an hour in order to bill a client for an hour. Very, very important, okay? It helps you to make a much bigger impact in the world. Why? Because the marketing that you're doing for your coaching, training, or consulting program and the increase in the number of people you can serve inside of a single program, because you're no longer serving them one by one, hour by hour, but you're serving them all as a group, it helps you to make a much bigger impact in the world. And maybe that's why you got into mental health in the first place. There's no staff. There's no overhead. You can get into multi-six figures with a coaching, training, or consulting program completely on your own, and it helps you to make a lot more money with what you know. So if you want to know how to get a coaching, training, or consulting program off the ground, how to do this in the next few weeks and months, how to really invest some time this summer that could change the entire trajectory of your life and of your career, I am actually offering a training this coming Monday at 6 p.m. ET. I'm going to teach you the exact steps that you need to be following in order to create your own coaching, training, or consulting program. This is only for mental health professionals, only for people who are truly qualified to help. Coaching is unlicensed, training is unlicensed, consulting is unlicensed, unregulated, but the standard that we have here is we only work with people who are competent. And if that is you, and if you're looking for a way to make a bigger impact in the world with what you know, you need to come to this training. Just head on over to thepowerfulpractice.com/event. I'm going to be sending you some messages before the event so that you can submit your questions for me to answer live, and I am looking forward to serving you there.